But he still talks to his ex.
It's okay to not talk to the ex or require not to talk to the ex in the beginning of a new relationship. However, later on, when you feel confident enough in the relationship, it should be fine.
Let's be honest for a second. Something about this relationship always felt strange. From the outside, everything looked glamorous. 2 successful celebrities, red carpet appearances, sweet interviews, smiling for cameras, acting like they had found true love later in life. But underneath all of that polished Hollywood energy, many people felt something was off. When people first heard that Jennifer Hudson and Common were dating, reactions were mixed. Some fans were excited because both stars had been through difficult relationships in the past. Others, however, were immediately skeptical. They believed Jennifer deserved someone more stable, more loyal, and more trustworthy. And now, those early concerns are starting to look very real. Rumors have exploded online claiming that Common may have betrayed Jennifer's trust. According to insiders and gossip surrounding the couple, Jennifer reportedly discovered behavior that deeply upset her. The whispers suggest Common may have entertained another woman while still committed to Jennifer. And if those rumors are true, Jennifer didn't waste time tolerating it. People close to the situation claim she confronted him directly. No games. No confusion, no public screaming match. Just a woman who had already been through enough heartbreak deciding she wasn't willing to repeat old mistakes again. What makes this story even more shocking is how deeply Common publicly praised Jennifer before all this drama surfaced. During interviews, he spoke about her like she was the perfect woman. He described her as intelligent, spiritual, talented, and grounded. He proudly talked about how successful she was, and even joked that his standards were extremely high because she had achieved EGOT status, meaning she had won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award. That's a level of success only a handful of entertainers ever reach. To the public, it sounded romantic, but many fans weren't convinced. Because while Common was speaking about commitment and admiration, people couldn't ignore his dating history. Over the years, he developed a reputation for moving from one high-profile relationship to another. Some saw him as charming and emotionally deep. Others saw him as someone who loved the excitement of romance more than the responsibility of maintaining one relationship long-term. And Jennifer? She was entering this relationship carrying emotional scars of her own. This wasn't just another celebrity romance for her. Jennifer had already survived devastating personal tragedies and painful relationship experiences. She had spent years rebuilding her confidence, protecting her peace, and trying to create stability in her life. So naturally, fans became protective of her. The moment news of Jennifer and Common dating started spreading, people immediately remembered another woman from Common's past, Tiffany Haddish. And Tiffany didn't exactly stay quiet. Before Jennifer and Common officially confirmed anything, Tiffany already seemed uncomfortable hearing rumors about them. Some people believed Tiffany was bitter because she still had feelings for Common. Others believed she genuinely wanted Jennifer to understand what kind of man she might be dealing with. Either way, Tiffany's reactions caught attention. She had once been deeply in love with Common herself. During interviews, she openly talked about how safe and happy she felt with him. She described their relationship as one of the healthiest she'd ever experienced. But according to Tiffany, things eventually changed. At first, their relationship seemed serious. They spent time together constantly during lockdown, and fans even accidentally discovered they had reunited after Tiffany went live on Instagram while Common was visible in the background. The internet quickly connected the dots. Still, despite all the romantic moments, many people noticed a familiar pattern. Whenever relationships with Common started becoming more serious, something shifted. Marriage discussions would appear. Commitment questions would arise. And suddenly, the relationship would slowly begin falling apart. That's exactly what appeared to happen with Tiffany. As she became more vocal about wanting a future together, Common reportedly started distancing himself emotionally. Publicly, he tried to make the breakup sound peaceful and mutual. He claimed their busy schedules made it difficult to spend enough time together. But Tiffany later revealed how painful the breakup truly was for her. She admitted she was heartbroken. And she strongly hinted that Common might simply be the kind of man who never fully settles down. That statement stuck with people. Because once Jennifer entered the picture, fans immediately worried history might repeat itself. Especially considering Common's long list of famous exes. Before Jennifer, before Tiffany, there was Erykah Badu, there was Serena Williams, There was Angela Rye and several others connected to him over the years. But one thing many people noticed? Very few of his former relationships seemed to end peacefully. In fact, several stories painted Common as someone who struggled with consistency and emotional accountability. His relationship with Erykah Badu especially became one of the most talked about examples. Common later admitted that breakup completely crushed him emotionally. He described it as his first real heartbreak. According to him, Erykah ended the relationship over the phone while he was on tour. But Erykah later pushed back against parts of his story. She suggested that the truth was more complicated than Common presented publicly. She hinted that deeper issues existed in the relationship, including problems connected to loyalty and honesty. And suddenly, fans started seeing a pattern. Whenever relationships ended, Common often appeared eager to protect his image. Instead of openly admitting fault or emotional disconnect, explanations usually centered around timing, schedules, misunderstandings, or mutual decisions. But the women involved sometimes hinted at a very different reality behind the scenes. That's why many people became nervous when Jennifer Hudson fell in love with him. Because Jennifer isn't just another celebrity headline. She's someone audiences genuinely root for. People watched her rise from tragedy and hardship into global success. They saw her lose family members in heartbreaking circumstances. They saw her rebuild her life and career through pain most people could never imagine surviving. So when rumors started suggesting Common may have hurt her too, fans immediately reacted emotionally. Many people online began saying the same thing. Jennifer deserves peace. And honestly, that may be exactly why she reportedly refused to ignore the warning signs this time. BA's Jennifer Hudson's relationship with Common became more public. Fans started paying closer attention to his history. And the more people looked back, the more uncomfortable the pattern became. Because this wasn't just about one failed relationship, it was several. Different women, different years, different situations. But somehow the endings always seemed strangely similar. At first, everything with Common usually looked magical. He knew exactly what to say. He came across as thoughtful, emotionally intelligent, spiritually grounded, and mature. Women often described him as calming, deep, and romantic. He had a soft-spoken charm that made people believe he was different from the average Hollywood man. But eventually, cracks would begin to appear. And according to many people watching from the outside, Common often seemed to lose interest the moment relationships became truly serious. One of the biggest examples people continued discussing was his relationship with Tiffany Haddish. When Tiffany first got together with Common, she looked genuinely happy. Fans noticed a different glow about her. She openly spoke about how secure she felt around him. She said she trusted him deeply and even hinted that she could picture a future with him. For a while, things looked promising. They laughed together in interviews. They supported each other publicly. During lockdown, they spent large amounts of the time together, which made their bond appear even stronger. Tiffany seemed convinced she had finally found someone emotionally mature enough to build something lasting. But according to people close to the situation, that energy slowly began changing once conversations about long-term commitment entered the picture. Tiffany reportedly wanted more certainty, more stability, more reassurance. And that's when many believe Common emotionally started checking out of the relationship. Publicly, he tried to present their breakup in the most peaceful way possible. He explained that both of them became busy again once life returned to normal after lockdown restrictions ended. According to him, their schedules prevented them from giving enough attention to the relationship. To casual fans, that explanation sounded reasonable, but Tiffany later spoke about the breakup in a way that suggested it hurt far more deeply than Common admitted. She confessed that the relationship ending devastated her emotionally. In interviews, she described it as one of the safest relationships she had ever experienced. She said she felt protected with him, something she rarely felt in past romances. That's what made the breakup so painful, because from her perspective, the connection felt real. Meanwhile, many people noticed Common appeared emotionally detached almost immediately afterward, and Tiffany eventually made a statement that stayed in the public's mind for a long time. She compared him to a bee moving from flower to flower. In other words, someone constantly searching for the next emotional excitement, instead of truly planting roots with one person. That comment hit hard because many people realized it reflected not only Tiffany's experience, but several women before her as well. Then there was Erykah Badu. Their relationship was intense, artistic, emotional, and deeply connected. Common later admitted he was devastated when things ended between them. He described being unable to eat properly and emotionally, lost after the breakup. At first, his version of events made him appear like the heartbroken victim. But Erykah later gave subtle hints suggesting there was much more to the story. She implied that trust issues and dishonesty played a role in their separation. While she didn't completely attack him publicly, she made it clear she was tired of narratives that unfairly painted her as the reason relationships failed. And again, people noticed another familiar trend. Whenever relationships ended, Common often managed to protect his public image surprisingly well. He rarely appeared as the obvious villain. Instead, breakups were framed as complicated misunderstandings, emotional timing issues, or mutual decisions. But the women connected to him often sounded far more hurt than his explanations suggested. That disconnect became impossible for fans to ignore, especially because Common spent years rebuilding himself publicly as a healed man. After several highly publicized breakups, he began speaking openly about therapy, emotional growth, and self-improvement. He talked about learning how to become a better partner. He even mentioned receiving relationship advice from Michelle Obama. During interviews, he discussed compromise, maturity, and understanding that nobody is perfect. To many listeners, he sounded like a man who had finally evolved emotionally, but critics weren't fully convinced because they believed his words and actions didn't always align. Some fans argued that Common understood exactly how to sound emotionally evolved without necessarily changing his relationship habits underneath. And then Jennifer Hudson entered the picture. At first, their romance developed quietly. The two had known each other for years through Hollywood circles. But according to insiders, things became more serious while they worked together filming in Philadelphia. During breaks on set, they reportedly spent more and more time together until their chemistry became impossible to ignore. Still, Jennifer initially tried to avoid confirming anything publicly. When interviewers asked about the relationship rumors, she playfully dodged questions and suggested people were creating their own stories. But eventually, public sightings made the romance difficult to deny. Fans spotted them together in Malibu. Reports claimed Common traveled overseas to support Jennifer during performances. Sources described them as inseparable, and suddenly, the relationship became official in the eyes of the public. For a moment, many people hoped this relationship would finally be different. Jennifer wasn't like some of the others. She carried herself carefully. She valued privacy. She had already survived painful public heartbreak before. Many believed she wouldn't rush into something unstable. But at the same time, others worried Jennifer might be ignoring obvious warning signs because of how charming Common could be in the beginning. Especially since Common seemed extremely serious publicly. He praised her constantly. He admired her accomplishments. He spoke about her intelligence and spirituality. And according to insiders, he even discussed marriage. But Jennifer reportedly remained cautious. And honestly, her hesitation made perfect sense. Because Jennifer already knew what it felt like to invest years into a relationship only for everything to collapse painfully. Later. Before Common, Jennifer had spent nearly a decade involved with David Otunga. From the outside, that relationship once looked stable too. They shared a child together. They were engaged for years. Fans assumed marriage was inevitable. But behind closed doors, problems reportedly existed for a very long time. As Jennifer's career continued growing, tension allegedly increased inside the relationship. According to various reports and interviews, David struggled with some of the changes happening in Jennifer's life, especially after her dramatic physical transformation and weight loss journey. Jennifer even hinted publicly that he disliked how much she had changed. She explained that he preferred the older version of her and sometimes questioned why she dressed differently or embraced her evolving confidence. At first, those comments sounded small, but later, fans began wondering whether deeper control issues existed underneath. Then the breakup happened, and suddenly, their separation turned ugly. Very ugly. Allegations, custody disputes, accusations, and legal drama followed. Jennifer reportedly accused David of behavior that made her feel unsafe, while his legal team strongly denied all accusations and accused Jennifer of exaggerating events to gain sympathy during custody proceedings. The situation became emotionally exhausting and extremely public. And after surviving all of that chaos, Jennifer reportedly promised herself she would never blindly trust the wrong man again. That's why current rumors surrounding Common have people so concerned. Because according to insiders, Jennifer already had fears about his past before these recent cheating allegations surfaced. She reportedly worried that despite his promises of commitment, history might eventually repeat itself. And now that rumors are spreading about possible betrayal, fans are beginning to wonder if Jennifer's instincts were right all along. To truly understand why Jennifer Hudson appears so cautious with Common now, you have to understand everything she survived before he entered her life. Because Jennifer isn't just protecting a relationship, she's protecting herself. For years, the public watched Jennifer transform into one of the most respected women in entertainment. Her voice, talent, and success turned her into a global star. She achieved what most artists only dream about, becoming an EGOT winner after earning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award. But behind all that success was a woman carrying unimaginable pain. Jennifer's life changed forever after the horrifying tragedy that took the lives of her mother, brother, and young nephew. The loss devastated her family and left emotional wounds that never fully disappeared. Even after years passed, people close to Jennifer said she became far more protective of her peace, her emotions, and the people she allowed into her personal life. That trauma shaped the way she viewed love. It shaped the way she trusted people, and it shaped the way she approached relationships. So when Jennifer fell in love with David Otunga years ago, she truly believed she was building a stable future. They looked like the perfect celebrity couple from the outside. They were engaged for nearly a decade, shared a son together, and seemed committed to making things work long-term. But according to reports and interviews over the years, cracks had existed beneath the surface for a long time. As Jennifer's fame continued rising, tension reportedly grew inside the relationship. Some people close to the situation believed David struggled with Jennifer's growing independence and confidence, especially after her dramatic physical transformation. When Jennifer lost weight and began embracing a healthier lifestyle, fans praised her confidence and glow-up. But according to Jennifer herself, David didn't seem completely comfortable with the changes. In interviews, Jennifer hinted that he preferred the older version of her. She even joked about him asking why she suddenly needed to dress up more often or present herself differently in public. At the time, many people overlooked those comments. But looking back now, some fans believe those small remarks revealed much deeper insecurities within the relationship, because sometimes emotional control doesn't begin with screaming or violence. Sometimes it starts quietly, with criticism, with discomfort, with subtle attempts to make someone feel guilty for growing, and eventually, Jennifer and David's relationship completely collapsed. What followed became one of the messiest chapters of Jennifer's personal life. Their breakup quickly turned into a bitter legal and emotional battle involving custody disputes, accusations, and frightening claims. Jennifer reportedly accused David of behavior that made her feel unsafe. One accusation involving a firearm especially shocked the public and made headlines everywhere. David's legal team strongly denied all allegations. They claimed Jennifer was exaggerating events and attempting to damage his reputation in order to gain an advantage during custody proceedings. His lawyers insisted he had never abused or threatened Jennifer or their child. The entire situation became emotionally draining and painfully public. And for Jennifer, it was another reminder that appearances can be deceiving. From the outside, people thought they were building a beautiful family life together. Behind closed doors, things were apparently far more complicated. That experience changed her forever. According to insiders, Jennifer became extremely careful after that breakup. She reportedly promised herself she would never ignore red flags again. She no longer wanted to rush into marriage simply because a relationship looked good publicly. Peace became more important than appearances. Trust became more important than romance, and stability became more important than passion. That's exactly why people close to Jennifer say she approached her relationship with Common cautiously from the very beginning. Yes, she cared about him. Yes, she enjoyed being with him. But she reportedly never fully let her guard down, because Common's past made her nervous. Even while he publicly praised her, Jennifer allegedly remained aware of his reputation. She knew about the women before her. She knew about the breakups. She knew about the stories surrounding his commitment issues. And according to insiders, she quietly worried about whether he could truly change. At first, Common seemed determined to prove he was serious about her. He appeared more mature than before, more emotionally aware, more settled down. Friends of the couple reportedly believed he genuinely wanted Jennifer to trust him. Some even claimed he discussed marriage and long-term plans. But Jennifer reportedly hesitated every time conversations became too serious. And honestly, many fans understood why. Because Jennifer had already experienced what happens when you fully trust the wrong person. She knew how painful it felt to invest years into a relationship only to walk away emotionally exhausted afterward. So when rumors recently surfaced suggesting Common may have betrayed her trust, people weren't shocked that Jennifer reacted strongly. According to gossip surrounding the situation, Jennifer allegedly confronted him directly after hearing troubling information involving another woman. Sources claim she felt disrespected and blindsided, especially considering how much Common publicly emphasized loyalty and emotional growth. To Jennifer, this reportedly wasn't just about cheating rumors, it was about disappointment. It was about feeling like history might be repeating itself again. And perhaps most painfully of all, it was about realizing that someone who talked so beautifully about love might still struggle to practice it consistently. Fans online immediately started defending Jennifer once these rumors exploded. Many people pointed out that she had already survived enough heartbreak for one lifetime. Others argued that Common's dating history should have been taken more seriously from the beginning. Some even revisited Tiffany Haddish's old interviews, believing Tiffany may have been indirectly warning Jennifer all along. Because after Tiffany and Common broke up, Tiffany didn't sound bitter as much as wounded. She repeatedly hinted that Common struggled with permanence, that he loved relationships in the beginning but had difficulty maintaining them once real responsibility entered the picture. At the time, many people dismissed her comments as post-breakup emotions. But now, some fans believe her words make much more sense. Meanwhile, Common continues trying to maintain his calm public image. That's another reason this story fascinates people so much. Unlike many celebrity scandals filled with public arguments and explosive social media drama, this situation feels quieter, colder, more emotionally complicated. There haven't been huge online fights, no dramatic interviews yet, no emotional Instagram rants. Instead, there's this growing feeling that Jennifer may simply be pulling away emotionally after recognizing warning signs she can no longer ignore. And honestly, that might hurt even more. Because sometimes the end of a relationship doesn't happen through one giant explosion. Sometimes it happens through disappointment stacking slowly on top of old pain until someone quietly realizes, I can't do this again. For Jennifer Hudson, that realization would be heartbreaking, not because she needs a man to complete her, but because after everything she's survived, she likely hoped this relationship would finally feel safe. And now fans are wondering whether that safety was only an illusion all along.